Tensions intensified in Parliament as Ialibu-Pangia MP questioned Prime Minister over the landowner benefit sharing agreement. In response, Marape clarified that the arrangement originated under the led government as a gesture to the 5 affected provinces. He added that Oneil was not part of the negotiations, stating the deal was made between himself and the late Anderson Aguirre. Oneil, however, hit back strongly, accusing Marape of dishonesty and claiming that the benefits had not been distributed fairly across the country.
For Ialibu-Pangia lied under oath. So when you talk about lying, an inquiry established you lied under oath. You have no right to lecture me on lying or not lying.
Honorable Prime Minister, we have a point of order from the opposition leader.
Deputy Speaker, as we engage in this light banter, we are missing the question raised by the honourable member. So if the Prime Minister could simply respond to the questions. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable opposition leader, your point of order is in order. I will allow the Prime Minister please respond direct to what the member have raised. Thank you.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I do apologize to the Chair and to the members of Parliament. The fact remains, since 2014, the gift from Grand Chief Somare was squandered. The opportunity to the landowners was never given in 2014. No opportunity was given to them. A couple of years later, a decision took place to reduce value of that gift by half, and that we place on record. Oneil Cabinet made this offer a couple of years later. But on record, when first guests arrived in Japan, no offer to purchase 4.27% was conferred to the 5 provincial governments and to the 60,000 landowners, and I thank them for the patience to hold this project up till this date. This was a gift to the 5 provinces and the landowners, and Grand Chief Somare, late Aguirre, and myself, 3 of us, was on a boat owned by Peter Bata outside of Kokomo Beach Bungalow when this gesture was made, so that we could secure landowner signature before 8th of December 2009. Never, Ialibu-Pangia, you were never involved in these things. You squandered our people's resources when it matters most. Sit down and talk some other time. This project would have been closed if some was not around. You squandered our people's resources. So no can talk to plenty. Sometimes sit down and enjoy lively in Parliament.
But as the most lying Prime Minister of this country, all the promises that you have made, Mr. Speaker, when you talk about squandering, prove it, provide evidence. Where did we squander? You know, you are not the only one who was the savior of that project. You know, some of us were involved in Kokopo as well. You are not the only landowner. LA is not the only landowner. Be fair to every other province in the country. Stop being selfish.
Honourable
That's
member.
what is happening in this country. You are taking all the benefits out of that project and not sharing with the country.
Honourable member for Ialibu-Pangia, I acknowledge your point of order, but like I've said earlier, it's like you're debating on the question being raised, and your point has already been raised to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, we only have a few minutes. I would like you to go direct to the question the honourable member have raised.
I do apologize once again. I'll come back to the, Honourable Speaker, Vice Minister and a member for Como asked a pertinent question. The 4.27% has not been fully discharged. Still, Kumul Petroleum has the asset. This government have asked for Kumul Petroleum to discharge. Now, paper is being worked upon. Once the matter is presented to Cabinet, I'll be able to advise himself and all the other leaders as to what has happened. Kumul Petroleum has been informed to fully give Cabinet a full information package on what happened in 2014, what happened in the UBS mortgage of 4.27% to UBS, in the UBS transaction, where's the asset today, what happened in the total value package of the 16.57% of Kumul Petroleum. So we're doing a holistic review into the entire asset owned by Kumul Petroleum, including making reference to what happened to the 4.27% in 2014. Once this full information is available, I'll be able to inform the landowners and everyone, and we'll be able to find a solution that gives respect that the landowners and the 5 provincial governments have not been given the right to purchase that 4.27% since 2014. It is now 12 years since first gas flowed, and the Kumul Petroleum has used the 4.27% to the benefit of everyone else, and we will inform the landowners when the decision is been made by cabinet. On what happens and who will be the holder of this 4.27%, I want to advise all, especially the beneficiaries. This is not a legal entitlement in as far as Oil and Gas Act is concerned. Your legal entitlement is the 2%. This 4.27% was a gift by the then Somali government, and it's meant to enable sustenance. Our government will take decision as to what happens, and we don't want it to be just a cash grant to the province or to the landowners. An element of it must be saved for future generation, an element must be passed on to the beneficiaries and not through middlemen. So we'll structure it in a manner in which some element of cash pass through the beneficiaries. You are receiving beneficiary in terms of the 2% benefit, so the part to distribute is there already, but an element must be saved for future generation. In respect to review on the current PNG LNG project agreement, let me assure the member we'll get back on this matter upon advice from the government officials, whether there's a review clause, etc. If there is a review clause, we'll look into this one. In the 5th question that was asked, especially in relation to using oil and gas from our own production fields, I've sent word to Santos, who is the holder of many of our assets up there in PDL2, PDL5 and 6. I've also indicated to ExxonMobil for us to look at how we could utilize our own gas in-country for processing in-country. And that's something that I will also report back to this Parliament. But I thank Deputy Speaker for giving the opportunity. I do apologize to the member for Ialibu-Pangia. Sometimes you and me have these exchanges, but you know very well, I know exactly what happened in the 7 years I was minister in your cabinet.
Honourable Deputy Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, my question without notice this morning is addressed to the good Minister for Treasury. But before I do, I see there's a lot of people who wish to ask questions after this question. I wonder if I could seek leave of the Chair to extend question time of Parliament.
Honourable members, the question is that the question time be extended. Those in favour, please stand. All seated. Absolute majority. Honourable member, you have the question time extended.
Thank you.
Honourable member, I interrupt you. Usemito gi pla pinisa. Plani member like asking questions, so team asking you now. Usat you reply. So team, kisilo point. Usat you like working point of order. Tingin point of order straight na. You me raise him. You me no can debate na. Working question time go long plan na. You plus some plan on asking question. Honourable Deputy Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, very quickly, as I said, my question without notice is addressed to the good Minister for Treasury. Mr. Speaker, the people of this country are watching with deep concern as the escalating conflict in the Middle East is driving global oil prices towards and beyond the $100 per barrel mark. Now, although the primary effects of this conflict have not yet fully hit PNG's retail fuel pumps, the ICCC warns, as of 8th of March, that a significant impact is expected in April of 2026. A significant impact. Our neighbours are already taking. Thank you. Our neighbours are already taking decisive action to protect their citizens. And in the last few days, Mr. Speaker,
Australia and New Zealand have coordinated with the International Energy Agency to prepare the release of strategic oil reserves to stabilize supply and prices. On the other hand, there's Thailand, who's moved halt fuel exports to prioritize domestic supply security. And governments across Asia are rolling out emergency measures, including rapid fuel price caps, tariff cuts, and expanded subsidies. Even before this effect hits our shores, on the 8th of March, Mr. Speaker, as I said earlier, the ICCC announced significant retail price hikes, with diesel jumping over 21 toya, petrol increased by 13 toya, and Zoom by now at 5 kina 20 per litre, and kerosene for the rural dweller has jumped by 19 toya to about 4 kina per litre. Mr. Speaker, this price inflation is totally going to affect our ordinary citizens' livelihoods. Even maritime dwellers, particularly those who use Zoom for fishing and transportation, are going to be hit very hard. While the opposition acknowledges the Prime Minister has stated the government is monitoring the situation and also assured that there's a comprehensive package being worked on, Mr. Speaker, can the Treasurer inform this Honourable House specifically what immediate concrete interventions the government is implementing beyond monitoring and assuring a comprehensive package to alleviate the financial pressure on Papua New Guineans caused by global fuel prices that will spike general volatility? The real effect of that is that the transportation of goods and services of food from Lae Port into the highlands is going to be hit on the shelves, being passed over to the consumer. And the second question, Mr. Speaker, is that given that ICCC, which falls under the Minister's oversight, has warned of a significant price lag, is Treasury making any urgent budgetary reallocations to prevent a cost of living surge next month? Those are my questions.
The Honourable Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and I thank the Deputy Opposition Leader for his two questions on what concrete interventions Marape Rossa government has to alleviate fuel prices, and also ICCC, if there are any urgent budgetary allocations. On that second query, Minister for Treasury does not have oversight of ICCC that's been transferred. Mr. Speaker, can I just say that we all hope that this war ends quickly and fairly, and remember those that have died and are dying. Yes, we will be affected by this war. I'm trying to get this mic working, Mr. Speaker. As I was mentioning, Mr. Speaker, we will be affected by this war, and we do have people stranded in the Middle East. We're working to bring them home. But once again, global uncertainties are shaking our country, and once again, the steady hand of the Marape Rossa government will ensure that we will overcome all of these crises. And we will be responding in the same responsible manner that we did when we dealt with the crises of COVID, the Ukraine-Russia war, the Gaza war, and now this wider conflict in the Middle East. And we do have a very clear perspective. The Prime Minister, in fact, virtually the day after the war broke out, responded with the government's readiness to respond to any, not just fuel prices, but cost of living pressures. And I thank the Prime Minister for giving clear directions to the appropriate arms of government to be ready. Mr. Speaker, what concrete interventions do we have to alleviate fuel prices? We will take on the same interventions that we did back in 2022. When fuel prices jumped upwards during the Ukraine-Russian war, we responded with cuts in fuel excise and GST on fuel. This, if we all can recall, was part of our household assistance package back then, and that cost us 305 million kina in lost revenue. And as Prime Minister has already mentioned, and I would like to reiterate, this government stands ready to do so again if warranted. On the Deputy Opposition Leader's claims that fuel prices were increased on the 8th of March, my briefing is that there were no fuel price increases on that day, and that was because the 8th of March decision was based entirely on February prices before the war began. And as you correctly mentioned, the next ICCC determination will be on the 8th of April, and this will be the first time we may see the impact of the war on fuel prices. We'll closely monitor those prices and take whatever necessary actions that needs to be made. On that last point, Mr. Speaker, what urgent budgetary allocations might we consider? Again, Mr. Speaker, we would review our household assistance package. We anticipated global shocks, external shocks for 2026, and that's why we had increased our household assistance package to 1,010 million kina in tax cuts as well as school subsidies, and of course cuts to GST on 13 household items. But of course, many of our trade stores are not passing that on, so clearly we need to work closely or closer with the ICCC and Customs and to fund them appropriately to make sure that we do enforce those changes that we made. Overall, and to conclude, Mr. Speaker, our household assistance package has been very generous for the people of Papua New Guinea, and that is not put in place just to deal with external shocks, but also to deal with our foreign exchange program to try and achieve kina convertibility. So in the last 4 years, our household package has increased to over 3 billion kina, specifically 3,332 million kina. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Kundiawa Kerawagi.
Thank you. Deputy Speaker for recognized the people of Kerawagi. My question without notice is directed to the Minister for Agriculture and Livestock. Before I direct my question, I take this time to congratulate Honorable Mugadibu for returning to the Parliament. After the long battle in court, the people of Kundiawa Gambian has been without a leader for a long time. To you, so thank you for coming. Congratulations. You have some couple of months. I wish you well to continue to serve the people of Kundiawa Gambian. My question without notice to Minister for Agriculture and Livestock. I thank you, my good Minister, for launching the Culture Natural Resource Development Plan some couple of days in Goroka. Mr. Speaker, this country, our government is emphasizing a lot of, or setting up vision for export in this country. We have two resources in this country. One is a renewable resource. The other one is a non-renewable resource. We have migrated into our mineral resources, coal and copper and oil, but we have a very big renewable resources in this country is crops and livestock. While our government is emphasizing on exports in this country, I think I was trying to ask a question to our good minister on the supply and market chain. This society is a substance-based society. We don't have mechanized farming in this country. We have talked about a lot on exports, but the supplies is, that's our supply chain is very limited. I want to ask our good minister, because of our smaller-based products in this country, we need to increase our supply. Mr. Speaker, now you go to the shops, supermarkets in our town, in Papido, SVS, Shop and Shop, TBL, you will ask them, you will see carrots, onion, broccoli, and some of the crops on the shelves. You ask them where this comes from, including our fruits, oranges, etc. They actually brought in from New Zealand and Australia. We have very great huge potential of this crop supposed to grow in this country. But the problem we have is we don't have a supply. Our supply chain is low. That's why we are not consistent in the volume and consistent in supply. Last time I bring CPL to Kirawaki, and they were saying they require 1,000 onion bags per week. Mr. Speaker, the question is, who's going to supply this? The people who are going to grow the food to supply this are actually selling boy and smoke, and they are enjoying the market. We have them in market. So when you talk about exports...
Honorable Member, sorry for interrupting you. Can you go straight to your question if you...
My question is, do we have developed a plan or concept to actually increase our supply chain and consistency of supply for our smallholder? That's one. Number two, we have corporate agencies actually supporting the Department of Agriculture in this country, including the livestock development agencies, fresh produce development agencies, CIC, and several others. Do they also actually migrate into increase or develop concept to support the agriculture department so it must become export-driven production in this country? Thank you.
Our Minister for Agriculture.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Before I answer questions from Member for Kerawagi, mitumila kishin sa time lo to kamamas lo member blong kundiaba gembok lo comeback long Parliament after the long court battle. Mr. Assistant Speaker, Mia Maslow, good question, member Blong. Kerawagi, on behalf of the Department of Agriculture, Like talk, thank you, long.
Honorable Minister, may I interrupt you? Honorable members, like to inform the House that as other members have mentioned, the member for Kerawagi, Kundiawa Kembogol on his reinstatement by court. The Parliament hasn't received any paper from court yet, and from the Registrar of Court in regard to the decision that court has made, and his presence is not in the Parliament today. Your congratulations message can be after and when the Speaker made known to the floor of Parliament in regard to the member being reinstated by court. Honourable Minister, you continue your...
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. My apologies. I would be making a ministerial statement in this Parliament probably next week, and that will help answer some of the questions that member has asked, Assistant Speaker. But agriculture is the backbone of this country.
Honourable Minister, we have a point of order. Opposition Leader, what's your point of order?
I think the good minister be just advised that the chair is taken by the Deputy Speaker, not an Assistant Speaker. He's done that, made the mistake 2 times already in his reply.
Honourable Opposition Leader, your point of order is in order. Honourable Minister.
Thank you. My apology again, Deputy Speaker. Bami karim statement kam long, Parliament long, tok long, agriculture. But on this note, me like talk thank you, Prime Minister, with my colleague ministers that went with me to Goroka on the 3rd of March to launch the Connect Agriculture. Connect Agriculture, but Connect one time, Connect PNG. So, me talk thank you long, Prime Minister, one time team that went up, and I will be bringing the ministerial statement to address all the sectors that we have a member for your consumption. We have 3 different ministries, and agriculture, which is coffee minister, who looks after coffee. Department of Livestock, we have a minister for livestock looking after the livestock ministry, and we have the minister for oil palm also that looks after the oil palm ministry. We will put a collective statement together and present to this Parliament for the consumption of the people of Papua New Guinea. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Governor for Oro.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise to ask a series of questions without notice to the good Minister for Department of Provincial and Local Level Government. Mr. Speaker, the 2025 Governors Conference in Port Moresby built on the 30 resolutions from the 2023 Lay Governors Conference. Mr. Speaker, since the 1995 reforms, well-intentioned but poorly implemented, too much power has stayed in Waigani, leaving provinces as spectators in their own development and causing many of today's problems. In 2025, the governors unanimously affirmed to revert to the pre-1995 provincial government system to correct these wrongs, whereby we could retain what little good came out of those 95 reforms, but do away with that which was destructive. And all of that was crystallized by Dr. Thomas Webster and his technical task team, which presented a blueprint to deliver real change, which includes directing block grants, greater financial freedom, and simpler 3-tier government. Now, I commend the Minister for his energy and his strong leadership, and it gives us hope in the provinces. But the people are asking for an update. So therefore, I ask this series of questions, Deputy Speaker. Has the NEC officially adopted the blueprint? What exact amendments to the Intergovernment Revenue Functions and Funds Act will ensure provinces receive unconditional block grants directly without financial department delays? And will the reforms, including the return to pre-1995 systems, give provincial councils the power, the PEC the power to appoint and manage their own public sector? When will this amendment come to Parliament, if it does? And what is the Ministry's firm timetable for final reading of these organic law changes, if there's any? Mr. Speaker, the governors have acted with the 2023 resolutions and the 2025 affirmation, and the task force team has delivered the blueprint. The minister has led strongly. So we are merely asking for an update on this. Thank you very much.
Minister for Provincial Affairs.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Through you, let me thank the Honourable Governor for very important series of questions that he has raised. And this issue relates to reform agenda that government is undertaking to reform provincial government systems. However, taking note of the importance of this issue and also being mindful of the fact that this matter is with NEC and NEC has to make its own deliberations and decisions. And in view of the limited time that is available, may I ask through you that I take note of these questions and present a detailed presentation tomorrow after the question time. I thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Sinisina Yangumo.
Deputy Speaker, I want to, in my capacity as the Shadow Minister for International Trade and Investments, direct my question to the Minister for International Trade and Investments, the Honourable Richard Maru. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I wonder if the Minister is aware that a serious unintended consequence is emerging with the establishment of SEZ in urban areas, such as the Pagai Hill area within the heart and soul of Port Moresby. There is a proposal to put in commercial office developments, which in itself is welcome, needed development, and we appreciate that. However, the proposed use of those commercial office complexes within the SEZ zone has become an issue of big concern. And I would like to maybe ask the Treasurer to also take note of this and study its implications, but the Minister for International Trade can address this directly to my question. And the adverse consequence of the establishment of SEZ in that particular type of area and type of areas within the heart of urban centers is this. The SEZ effectively creates a tax-free zone, a tax haven. So when you start building office complexes, businesses will migrate their headquarters into those zones, into those SEZ areas where commercial office complexes are established. They will rent a space, put their headquarters in there, and claim the tax benefits, the benefits of the tax-free zone. Now, in a city like Port Moresby, there's a possibility, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that all the big businesses in Port Moresby will rent an office space in that place, move all their headquarters in there and file their tax returns from there and claim tax exemption. Now imagine a scenario where all your big companies in Port Moresby, headquartered here in Port Moresby, move into that space. What's going to be the impact on our tax collection? A matter of grave concern for the Treasurer. So this is a question, I don't have the answers, but it's a question that's emerged within the business community. We are going to see serious erosion of taxes imposed on companies headquartered in Port Moresby. When they move into the SEZ areas, set up the offices in there and file their tax returns from there. So the question may be right, it may not be right, but it's serious enough to warrant the minister's attention. So I bring it to his attention. Perhaps he might address us here to see whether there's such a risk there or not. If it's not, fair and good for all of us, but if the risk is there, what's he going to do about it to protect the state's revenue? That's number one. Number two is normally SEZs are established for the benefit of SEZs are given to manufacturing companies who manufacture for export, and then they bring in foreign exchange into the country. SEZs elsewhere in the world where they create SEZs are not normally available to rank-and-file trading companies who don't export but do local trade in local currency. That's not normally the case. So is there a connection between the way we've deployed SEZs in Papua New Guinea, making it available to all trading houses, and now we run up against the risk that I have raised in my first question? In other words, should we now be looking at narrowing down the availability of SEZ to only manufacturing and exporting companies rather than general commercial enterprises? Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Minister for International Trade.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to thank the good member for this very important question. Firstly, when you talk about companies moving in and renting office spaces, the companies moving in to rent office spaces are not exempt from any taxes. They pay the full taxes. It is only the developers that are exempted for only 10 years. It is not something that goes on and on forever to try and encourage investors to come in and invest in these very prime areas of the city. Paga Hill has been around for 40 years and no one invested. Without incentives, no one will come. This country is a very difficult place to attract investors right now. The conditions are not easy. That's the truth. That's why we are offering incentive in prime land so we can get development to transform the landscape and the skyline of our city. It is not our purpose that this will continue. We are looking at AZ right across the country. East Nubian, we are looking at Finsafen, we are looking at Medang. So this thinking that we're only looking at Port Moresby is not correct. We're also looking at around the central province, not only within the city. So companies who go and rent offices are not exempt from taxes. I would just want to make that clear. Secondly, the incentive is only for the developers who spend money. Recently we launched Paradise, Paga Hill Paradise, and we got 2 other buildings coming up, and we are starting to transform Paga Hill and the city. We've also approved the, Mr. Speaker, the old wharf, which has been lying there doing nothing for the last 10 years. We are trying to get investors in there, create jobs, create employment, because this is what this country needs right now. So no one is being exempted by just moving over for an office. Only the developers are exempted. Because we want to attract investments. We haven't been able to get investments in these spaces for 30, 40, 50 years. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We have a supplementary from the Deputy Opposition Leader.
Deputy Speaker, is it probable that the good minister could publish the actual conditions that the developer is enjoying, and also how much investment this developer has brought in, and how many jobs in the long term is this developer creating for the Papua New Guinean?
The Honourable Minister.
Firstly, like mining and petroleum companies, construction phase takes quite a while. you have to raise the capital and build over a number of years. And I don't have an issue coming to Parliament and telling you how much has been invested and how many jobs we've created so far in Pagahil if you want that. I can give it to you tomorrow. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member for Madang, my apology to you that our question time has already been lapsed. The question time has already been lapsed, Honorable Member. I'm sorry, you can reserve your supplementary for tomorrow. I can recognize you and you can ask the question tomorrow. Honorable Members, I acknowledge the presence in the public gallery of a retired private Daure Kisu, a Fujiwazi veteran who served as a carrier to the Australian troops and eventually enlisted into the Papuan Infantry Battalion in 1943. On behalf of the National Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to him. Gentlemen, you are welcome to the Parliament. The Honourable Minister for Higher Education.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I ask leave to respond to a question asked by the good member for Abao. Thank you.
Honourable Member, you will seek leave from the chair.
Sorry. I seek leave from you, Deputy Speaker, to respond to a question asked by the good member of Abao, from Abao.
Leave granted. You may.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Mito, thank you, Member Abao, asking good question that will help me enlighten the Parliament and the country of the pressing need and, of course, the need for us to have bipartisan support to fix the education sector. Mr. Speaker, as I promised the House last week, I rise to present to this Honourable House a defining policy shift for our nation's education system, the 166 School Restructure Reform. This statement serves as the definitive roadmap for our transition, outlining our legal mandates, our strategic vision, and the 2025 minimum service standards that will guide every district and provinces in this historic and essential journey. Mr. Speaker, number one, the mandate, mission, and constitutional alignment. Our mandate is not merely a policy directive. It is a duty stated in the Constitution of Papua New Guinea, specifically the directive principle of integral human development. We are legally and morally bound to ensure every citizen can reach their full potential. Our mission, as outlined in the National Education Plan 2020 to 2029, is to provide 13 years of quality, universal education and training. This reform represents a harmonized alignment with our national and global aspirations, and this SDG 4 reaffirms our international commitment to inclusive and equitable quality education for all. Vision 2050 establishes the foundation for our national progress by prioritizing human capital development as its first pillar, supported by the PNG Education Transformation Vision 2075, which aims to lay the groundwork for a century of knowledge-based prosperity. And MTDP4 directly advances this vision through strategic priority SPA4, quality education and skilled human capital. Sector strategy implemented through the education sector. A development plan with the goal of creating educated, skilled, and innovative citizens.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of people that are not skilled. Crucially, the recent NEC approved Education Quality Infrastructure Program, or in short, EQ-PNG, complements the Connect PNG infrastructure program, transforming our new economic corridors from mere transport routes into vibrant corridors of learning and opportunity. Mr. Speaker, point number 2, the 166 framework. Planetam Yumiarem 166. What does the 166 mean? The 166 model comprising 1 year, so the 1 stands for 1 year of preparatory, the 6 stands for 6 years of primary, that's grade 1 to grade 6, and the other 6 stands for the 6 years of secondary, grade 7 to grade 12. And that is the vehicle for a national transformation. So this 166 reform is firmly anchored in law and policy, supported by NEC decisions number 315 of 2016 and number 232 of 2020, and is the core delivery mechanism for our national plans. Number 3, the rationale. Mr. Speaker, we must be honest about what we have been. For decades, our educational structures were characterized by discrimination and intolerance. We have operated under a model that did not care for all of our people, a model that was designed, that was going to result in failure for future human capital needs. The evidence of our past failures is clear and undeniable. For example, number 1, human resource wastage. We treated our children as waste or wastage rather than assets. Our enrollment data shows a pyramid-shaped attrition rate where over 437,000 students start in prep, the 1, but only approximately 33,400 reach grade 12 or complete grade 12. B, the exam trap. Our ill-conceived structures promoted only those who passed national exams, regarding them as the only ones fit to develop the country, while the majority who did not pass were branded as failures, dropouts, unwanted, or social outcasts. Systematic rejection. Mr. Speaker, we created a structure where millions of our youth, the very backbone of our future, were rejected by the system before they could even find their potential. At grade 8, students are being dropped out at age 14 and age 16 at grade 10. The survival or success rate, that is in brackets, the percentage of students who start school and survive until they complete the full cycle of education, end of bracket. Data for students who started preparatory in 2014 to complete grade 12 in 2026 is a call to conscience. Let me highlight a few glaring data of the referred cohort. Our journey begins with hope, yet only 50.8% of our children never even reach grade 8. We are losing 1 in 2 children before they finish their primary school. By grade 10, the survival rate falls to 27.7%. Only 1 in 4 students remain. Finally, only 12.8% of those who started prep will ever complete grade 12. In other words, our survival rate between preparatory and grade 12 is 12.8%. Mr. Speaker, this means 87 out of every 100 children somehow disappear from our classrooms. They do not leave because they lack talent. They leave maybe because of finance. But even with the free education, could be pocket allowances, we don't know what it is, but that's probably one of the reasons. Schools are too distant. The main one, there is not enough space in our classrooms or schools. The other one, lack of teacher motivations. Others include social issues, or they are crushed at the exit points at grade 8 and grade 10. These are our future doctors, teachers, and engineers. And we are losing them to a systematic rejection. Mr. Speaker, over the next decade, 2026 to 2036, 2.5 to 3 million young Papua New Guineans will enter adulthood uneducated. 2.5 to 3 million young Papua New Guineans will enter adulthood uneducated, unskilled, and unemployable if we do not make radical changes to our education system. So today, we say under the Marape government, through the 166 policy, no more. We must change the course. Our vision, a system of choice, inclusion, and excellence. Mr. Speaker, the 166 reform is not just a change in numbers. It is a change in our national soul. We are building a structure that is just, fair, and considers every citizen vital for national development. Our goal is simple: zero human wastage. We are moving decisively toward the universalization of education. Every child must complete grade 12. To achieve this, we are moving or removing the barriers of the past and building bridges to the future. 3 points. Number one, one entry, one exit. We are creating a seamless journey from preparatory to grade 12 with one entry point and one exit point. No can out not number grade 8 or 10, no got. Going straight to one, finish straight to grade 12. Number two, ending the dropout culture. By introducing a single national examination for monitoring purposes at grade 12, we are eliminating the high stakes of grade 8 and grade 10 examinations that served as premature exit ramps for our youth. This facilitates a continuous and uninterrupted 13-year education cycle. And see, education pathways. The core of our reform is the creation of multiple learning streams that cater to every student's unique abilities. Olga the Pignini, they're unique. So we're creating a system that fits to cater for all of them. We are moving beyond a one-size-fits-all model to ensure that excellence in academics, technical trades, and the arts is equally valued. And of course, sports. By significantly expanding vocational education and training, we are absorbing students into technical trades. Dignifying practical skills alongside academic scholarship. This ensures every path leads to a productive future. Mr. Speaker, while our goal is to retain every child in the formal system from prep to grade 12, we recognize that life circumstances can interrupt a student's journey. For this reason, we are simultaneously strengthening our flexible, open distance education, or FORWARD program. FORWARD is not an alternative pathway. It is a parallel and equally important pathway with a 166 vision. For those who must step out of a formal education or formal classroom due to employment, due to circumstances or geographical barriers, FORWARD provides a dignified and flexible pathway to complete their education. By integrating FORWARD more closely into our high schools and VET centers, the mainstream curriculum, and linking it to our digital transformation goals, we ensure that no citizen is ever permanently locked out of the education system. FORWARD is our guarantee that the door to grade 12 and beyond is always open. Mr. Speaker, While we build a system of inclusion, we are also building a system of innovation. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM, education is designed to cultivate a mindset of problem solving and creativity. We are investing 50 million kina in national schools of excellence every year. This will forge global pathways to expand overseas scholarships from 165 to 1,000 students annually through public-private partnerships. Mr. Speaker, under STEM education, we are building a nation of innovators. Point number 5, school mapping and clustering. Mr. Speaker, we have officially moved from guesswork to data-driven work. Our national school mapping and clustering exercise has provided our entire education landscape, ensuring that every kina is backed by evidence. So we have a GPS-coordinated system that controls almost all schools to make clustering a logical reality. Our central secondary school now serves as the hub, providing the specialized oversight and shared resources that support surrounding feeder primary school. Mr. Speaker, because we have mapped these gaps, the 11.8 billion ACUBE PNG program is not a broad spend, but a definitive investment. We have ready-to-use standardized architectural designs for classrooms and teacher housing paired with phased infrastructure schedule. This roadmap tells every district exactly what to build and when, ensuring they remain fully compliant with the 2025 minimum service standards. Number 6, ACUBE PNG and the 2025 minimum service standards. Mr. Speaker, structural change without financial backing is merely a wish. To drive this vision, the government in its wisdom and to put show its further commitment to education has launched the Education Quality and Infrastructure Program, ACUBE, valued at 11.8 billion. ACUBE is the social infrastructure counterpart to the Connect PNG program. It ensures every district and provinces meets clear funded benchmarks through standardized designs. The strategic implementation of ACUBE is structured through 4 components to ensure target delivery. Component number one, secondary school expansion program. Number 2, or component 2, primary schools expansion. Number 3, quality and standards, learning resources. And number 4, teacher welfare and health. In 2026, the Education Quality Improvement Program, initiative supported by a significant, and I must thank Prime Minister and Cabinet for a support of 300 million allocation that will focus on transforming the education landscape across 6 pilot provinces: the Western Province, Eastern Highlands, Enga Province, Jiwaka Province, Hela Province, and Western Highlands, as well as NCD and Lay City. This funding is specifically designed to bridge the infrastructure and quality gap as these provinces spearhead the phasing out of selection in grade 8 in 2025 and grade 10 in 2027. The next provinces to start implementation in 2026 are Madang, East Sepik, Central, West New Britain, Southern Highlands, New Island, NCD, Autonomous Region of Bougainville, Manus, Northern, Marape, and East New Britain. These cohorts will go on to phase out grade 10 selection in 2028. Milne Bay, Gulf, and Sundown are the last 3 provinces to phase out grade 8 selection in 2027. Mr. Speaker, infrastructure alone is not enough. To meet this transformation, teachers must be trained and recruited to meet the demand of increasing enrollment. And you would have seen on the paper and on social media, we've already advertised for massive recruitment for our teachers. Mr. Speaker, the 166 reform, fueled by the 11.8 billion EQ program, reinforced by a strengthened food system and driven by our commitment to STEM excellence, is the bridge from a past of exclusion to a future of universal opportunity and global competitiveness. Mr. Speaker, the IQ PNG program I just highlighted will help in improving our survival rates, but will not solve the infrastructure needs of every school. Therefore, the Department of Education has devised a plan for all levels of government to be equal partners. This requires a bipartisan support. Each level of government, Ogada member and the governors, each level of government will have its own educational responsibility, according to what we propose as the minimum service standards. Hence, the MS is demarcated as follows. Local level governments are going to be responsible for the oversight of early childhood education, and the standard is to have one per ward. District level administration is responsible for managing primary schools, and minimum at least one per ward. Of course, including secondary schools and TVET centers. TVET, of course, one each per district and one FOD per or each LLG, while utilizing DSIP and development partner funding. Provincial governments are responsible for high schools, one per LLG. University centers, and like I said yesterday, with the use of technology, online learning, you just have to have a university center in your place and your kids can go to school in the village or in the district. And technical colleges, one each per province, through PSIP funding, ensuring institutions meet quality standards. The national level is responsible for national institutions, and that includes national schools of excellence, inclusive education resource centers, and FOD. To conclude, Mr. Speaker, I now appeal and urge every governor and member of this House to align your PIP, PSIP, DSIP funding to support the implementation of the 166 reform. Let us ensure our investments build a system that is just, durable, and innovative. Plani piginini lusum skulia. That should really bother us. We must all put our hands together, create a space and access for all our kids, all of them, to go to school. We are no longer creating a nation of rejects. We are building a nation of empowered citizens, skilled innovators, and global thinkers. Mr. Speaker, before I end the statement, I thank the Prime Minister and government for prioritizing education and demonstrating a very firm and strong commitment to this sector. Thank you, and God bless.
Honourable members, I suspend Parliament for lunch, and Parliament resume at 2 p.m.
For us to continue to allow inflation to get out of control.
The Pandu-led government has not increased baseline tax for people.
Nak tibo, Tipo ya. MP pula. Pula man belong house boy belong all indai. Emi dai. Em also fighting people ya. Belong command house boy command mosolong. Ino no all got a house boy. Ino all got a house boy. Ondasor. Laban. Otok suluan. Name belong mania. Laban ayo. And we fighting. Mary bulungan hamas 2 bulan 3 bulan ba ko budang nongan no pet. Loas boy karay. Or auntie bulungan. Oli sabi harim. Sa harim ba ito ko omraman. Omrabik man bulong da sila peles na wami ko down. Or sem na alwokim tipo. Ba ami sidang kut pasem iarim. Ina na bharia bro tok. Iarim ko only fighting finish now. Ba alukorim man. Last long na mo alukorim man. Now na all sem allowers na all rosu na all all ito. Oh. Di kuman bro sa pulang no ami lose finish. Sem na all fighting people karamot pulang. People sem sila mamuya all fighting ya. People true bra karamot pulang all sabing. On man pulang people. Na olak to mo hanongan niya ay bulungan ba silip na miki dong
NBC National News, proudly brought to you by Vodafone. Best data deals with Vodafone.
Good day, I'm Priska Kahlo with the Midday News. The top stories: government launches country's foreign policy white paper. Higher Education Minister presents IBS University bill to Parliament. Government urged to support cocoa farmers as global prices drop. Prime Minister James Marape says the new foreign policy white paper will position and secure Papua New Guinea's future. Post-independence, the country's foreign policy, which dictates how Papua New Guinea interacts at the international level, was friends to all and enemy to none. After officially launching the new foreign policy white paper for the country last night in Port Moresby, Prime Minister Marape says the new foreign policy must not divorce from the first foreign policy.
So friends to all, enemies to none in 1975 was relevant as a young nation was battered into family of nations. And it depicts our culture, it depicts our characteristics, also embracing the Christian values that we were introduced into and that has been part of our DNA up till today. And I want to, right from the start, echo my affirmation that there should be no foreign policy as we work upon this one that should be divorced from the DNA of friends to all, enemies to none going forward. That is universal, that is foundational, that is and must be a core character going forward.
Parliament has fully supported the establishment of IBS University, with a majority voting in favor of IBS Bill 2026 during its first and second reading yesterday. Minister for Higher Education Kinoka Feo presented the bill to Parliament. Kashmir Waken reports.
Minister Fio thanked members of Parliament for their support, pointing out that the IBS University has met all requirements and standards of a tertiary institution. He says IBS University has proven itself and needs to be recognized and supported through the national government.
The IBS University Bill will provide a stable legislative platform for a mature and well-established institution that has demonstrated resilience, compliance, and commitment to national development.
The Higher Education Minister added that the university will provide huge opportunities for Papua New Guineans, especially assisting to meet the demand for higher education among grade 12 graduates.
Its passage will strengthen governance, enhance accountability, and enable IBS University to continue strengthening or contributing meaningfully to Papua New Guinea's higher education system and economic growth.
Prime Minister James Marape says IBS University has huge potential to benefit the country.
It is a timely proposal. This process will allow 1,000 more spaces created in our country, and we'll be also encouraging other private schools who are in country, so long as they tick the box with quality degrees and certificates.
Other members of Parliament shared similar sentiments, welcoming the opportunity for the next generation.
I fully support the establishment of this university, and I also urge the Higher Education Minister to continue to invest in other tertiary education institutions in the country.
To the Minister and the Cabinet for supporting this bill and encouraging more and more private universities to come, so it gives opportunity for our future generation of children.
The bill is expected to be read for the third time before being passed into an act to establish IBS University. If passed, IBS University will become a key player in Papua New Guinea's higher education sector. Kashmir Wakin, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
An enabling bill to establish the Court of Appeal has been successfully read a third time in Parliament yesterday. The bill, which sought to amend certain sections of the Constitution and organic law in relation to employment of judges in the country, was fully supported by all members of Parliament. Justice Minister Pila Niningi thanked members of Parliament and asked them to further support 6 more enabling bills to the Court of Appeal, which he intends to bring.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the honourable members for passing the constitutional amendments. Now, the Milak taking this opportunity to thank you, the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Opposition Leader, Deputy Opposition Leader, members of the both side of the House. Thank you. God bless you for what you are doing. You're standing up for what is right. The amendments has gone through. Major amendments have gone through. I have 6 other legislations to bring on after this has been certified. These 2 legislations being certified, then we will bring 6 more enabling legislations which will make the Court of Appeal, High Court operational, which means it will take place after this has been certified.
The government has been urged to assist cocoa farmers in the country as global prices significantly drop. A former politician and businessman, John Simon, issued a call while encouraging farmers to maintain cocoa production. Susan Kanya reports.
Global cocoa prices have significantly dropped in the past few days. This is a concern for the local cocoa industry, which enjoyed higher prices in the past months and years. Former politician and businessman John Simon recently echoed concern on this issue, however, says he is willing to assist farmers, encouraging them to do away with current fermenting techniques.
Never give up. If the cocoa price is down, right now, we can still get you there. Let's work on this concept of rebuilding all our fermentary kits. Do away with the current fermentaries that you have. Come up with a better fermentary, which is a bit smoke-free. The current fermentary has a lot of smoke taint on the cocoa, and it's no good for chocolate and other products. So we got to do away with those fermentary. We've got to come up with a better fermentary with a combination dryer or solar dryer. A solar dryer itself is not good because of the climate that we have. Sometimes you might have rain all throughout. You might not be able to dry your cocoa. But a better one would be a combination dryer.
Mr. Simon is also calling on the government to assist farmers in terms of price support.
Unless the country now comes up with a price stabilization fund and supports the price and keep the price back up to 1,000 kina.
His company JS Commodities has secured markets in Dubai and China among others and has indicated its support to local cocoa farmers. Susan Kania, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
The Port Moresby Nature Park has appealed to the public not to keep wild animals as pets and surrender them so they can be safely rehabilitated. This is part of its ongoing conservation efforts to protect habitats and ensure their survival. It reiterated this appeal as it acknowledges the recent help from staff of United Finance who brought in a spotted cascas. Donila Debuyo reports.
The spotted cascas, a familiar sight on Papua New Guinea's 10-toya coin, remains classified as least concern on the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, Red List of Threatened Species, meaning it is not currently at immediate risk of extinction. However, Conservation Manager Francis Gundu says caution is needed. That least concern label isn't a guarantee of long-term security.
And impacts that are affecting this population. So the assessment made by IUCN, it's not a one-year assessment. It's like it happens maybe 3 to 4 years. So within the 3 to 4 years range of years, we don't know what really happened in the wild. So we might say that it is least concern and not bother about this species, but the population might decrease and it might go to endangered species.
Mr. Gundu explains that many animals kept as pets like the spotted cascas mostly lose their wild instincts and they go through a rehabilitation program before being released back into the wild.
It also takes, proper veterinary checks and assessment to ensure that this animal is healthy in order to go back to the wild. And imagine the quarantine process, it's 30 days, and during that 30 days period, a number of work used to be done, and all thanks to our wildlife team for doing a great job over a number of years, and we successfully released a number of animals back to the wild through our rescue and rehab programs.
Meanwhile, Mr. Gundu thanked its major partners in the park's operation.
The conservation work that we do here at Port Moresby Nature Park wouldn't be possible because we are a charitable organization and we depend on sponsorship and support from the general public, government and business agency. And this is possible through our sponsors. So for the rescue, rehab and release for this first quarter of 2026, I would like to take this time to thank the French Embassy for their sponsorship for this first quarter of the year. So to add on, we have a number of sponsors that helps us continue our work, which I would like to acknowledge our major sponsors, which include National Capital District Commission or NCDC. It's one of our major sponsors.
Donila Debuyo, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
Coming up, Kundiawa College of Nursing celebrates a milestone. Stay with us for these stories and more after the break.
Central Province is our home.
The tides of the Coral Sea are our heartbeat. From the coast to the mountains,
Traditions pass generation to generation.
the sea and our gardens sustain us.
Our songs carry our legends through time.
Our home is Central Province. Our nation is Papua New Guinea.
Welcome back. The Kundiawa College of Nursing celebrated a milestone over the weekend, graduating its 6th batch of nursing students after 8 years of operation. This is despite ongoing funding hurdles. Pioneer Principal Ali Moon, in his remarks, emphasized commitment as key to excellence, saying that one will never expect the best if they cannot commit themselves to doing what they are supposed to do. Mr. Moon also described the college as a tool for human resource development and highlighted the college's rigorous, expensive program, noting they have persevered despite funding constraints. Benjamin Tabi reports.
Pledge myself.
Pioneer Principal Moon added that the institution, which started simply, looks forward to more development ahead and will go miles further. He urged all stakeholders to work together to protect and support the institution so it can continue grooming and developing human resources.
All parents you stop school fee you to make him graduate. As the head of the institution, I see that it's not safe to finish the program. But we want to thank the Lord for the wisdom and the heart that He has for us.
John Punde, the Simbu Provincial Administrator, praised the college administration for stretching limited funds to build the institution and produce this batch of graduates.
Testament law, this law, you look him. Resilience law, administration, you look him this law. Despite little money come, but all put them straight to work.
He urged the graduates to be role models in their field, delivering their best in serving the people. He said nursing is a noble calling and reminding them that they are implementers of government's plan.
The only face of government you will see on black 8 post or 1 black classroom. Then face of government, then represent service delivery. If this is not part, work, it means our service system has dropped or even no work.
Romana Kwasombi, the registrar of the PNG Nursing Council, told the graduates that their graduation signifies their formal transition into a regulated profession. She said it carries responsibility, accountability, and public trust.
As you graduate to be future registered nurses, you are expected to uphold the professional standards, scope of practice, and ethical conduct prescribed by the Papua New Guinea Nursing Council. Your practice must always place patient safety, professionalism, and integrity at its core.
The graduation underscores the college's growing role in addressing Papua New Guinea's healthcare needs amid ongoing challenges. Benjamin Tabiye, NBC National News, Kundiawa.
Hello, Governor Philip Undialu and Korba Kopiago MP William Bando have opened and announced a series of major development projects in Awi Lakayu LLG in Korba Kopiago district recently. The two leaders handed over a 40-bed dormitory and a double classroom at Paka High School, witnessed by students, teachers, and hundreds of community members from the Awi Lakayu LLG who gathered to welcome them. Additionally, developments announced for Paka High School include another 40-man dormitory, a double classroom, 5 staff houses, and a solar power project. Peter Esopwari reports.
14th March 2026. Honorable Minister, come now when you did that 40-man dormitory, one them these are double classrooms, so I have the pleasure to invite honorable member to cut the ribbon and let them Sumatin kissing classes starting tomorrow.
MP Bando, before the commissioning of the 40-man dormitory, emphasized that the success of such projects depends not only on government support but also on the respect and care shown by the people. He stressed that if the community demonstrates that they can safeguard the school and its property, it will encourage the government and development partners to invest in similar infrastructures in the future.
Mira Governor, Honorable Philip Undialu got big Bahamas. Law opening first project, Mibla Megim Law. Paka High School, Lutheran High School. People blow Awilakayo na Kopiago. 7 seconds, 1 blow time, you blow mas look out him. So this la work. You blow look out him good. Contractor work him good. 2 blow 3 blow more or this la kind dormitory must come up blow here.
The Awi community, which already hosts a level 6 primary school, ICBC mission station, an airstrip, and a new TVET institution, is expected to benefit from a solar power project, which will provide reliable electricity for the growing community. Peter Sawari, NBC National News, Tare.
With the ongoing threats of missiles and drones targeting ships